she just screamed. So, what does this mean to you, and what does it mean to her, and what does it mean to our trust? Well, it's really simple. She used the skills. Now, if you look at her from the outside, her husband, the midwife, or the obstetrician, they just saw a screaming woman. But she had a skill that anchored her. The first breath cycle of every intense contraction, she could be in control. She could open up her pelvis and she could soften at every exhalation. That anchored her. That meant that she did not get out of control. She didn't lose it. She didn't feel overwhelmed. Instead, she felt totally empowered. She felt as though she had really accomplished something, even though she screamed for the rest of the contraction. And that's fine. That's what birthing better skills are all about. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to use something that helps you cope, manage, deal with, handle, work through, stay in control, stay on top of this dynamic experience called birthing your baby. Now, what was Harry doing in all of this? Well, certainly for hours, he had worked effectively with the breathing. And then at some point, he saw her shut down. He didn't know internally that at the beginning of every contraction, she was actually using a skill. He didn't know that. She hadn't gone through the communication skills. They hadn't gone through the teamwork. They hadn't gone through the touch. And so he didn't know. So he sort of felt disconnected. But she told him about her experience after the birth, in which he was so proud of her. Even though he had not felt as involved as he would have liked to, he knew that she was using the skill, even though he wasn't privileged to that knowledge. Nor was the midwife or the obstetrician. And this is important for you to know. She used an epidural hours and hours after she thought she would have. And you know what she ended up saying to me? Was, I am going to have another baby, and I know that I can stay in control longer. I'm not going to just use that first breath cycle. I know I can go on to the next breath cycle and maybe the next breath cycle. Maybe I can't control it at the peak of a contraction. That's okay. But we now know there are 5 phases of contraction. I can now help Harry help me, and I know that I have the ability to stay in control. So this is a wonderful story of the Birthing Better skills. We hope you like it, and there'll be many more.